A whole heap of new and old rides across the world seem to be broken, but quite a few have luckily been reopening. From unexpected downtime on brand new multi-million-pound investments with huge IPs behind them, to some bigger rides and roller coasters having finally reopened after their own period of unexpected downtime. There's been so much going on all across the world at all of these different theme parks, because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Yes, welcome back to the news series that is way less dull than the normal news this past week in theme parks, where I go through all the latest news at theme parks in the past week. Now, you wouldn't have guessed that, would you? And today there is a common theme. Lots of breaking and lots of opening. So be sure to watch till the end so you can stay fully updated on absolutely everything, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. We have just begun the journey to 200,000 subscribers, so if you want to help towards that goal, it would be massively appreciated. Either way, those of you who may be avid viewers of this series will know that we usually start off with a quick fire news segment to quick fire through the news. There's a lot of self-explanatory stuff in this series, isn't there? Well, today we're going to put the gun away because we are not going to be having a quick fire segment. Sorry. Let's get into the news. Why don't we? Starting with the USA, where we have some brand new rides that have been testing and have opened, including Wave Twister, whatever this weird ride is. Like, what the hell even is that? Is that a cred, or is it just the same thing as a Zamperla Disco? I don't really know, but it is opened at Adventureland Long Island, and guests can now enjoy the Wave Twister, or the weird ride. Some of the team behind the brand new ride coming to Lagoon have managed to have their first rides on their brand new ride called Nutcracker, a huge S&S scream and swing with a massive 40-foot nutcracker next to it, and the first rides have been had on that. Six Flags New England have begun testing their brand new ride for this year as well, which isn't really news considering it tested for the first time last year, but the coaster has been delayed since. Quantum Accelerator, that is, and now testing has begun. It's been announced to open on the 17th of April, although we don't know yet if that's April 17th, 2027, because knowing Six Flags, it might as well be. Talking to Six Flags, over at Darien Lake, their wooden roller coaster Predator has had more Titan track installed onto it. Six Flags Great Adventure in place of the world's tallest roller coaster, or what was. The new purple roller coaster that's going in there, the potential Phantom Spire that's going to come out of the ground. Lots of track has now been installed for that, and you can see the launch followed by that insane zero-G stall. Clearly going to be a Mack ride, and everyone is thinking it will be a Mack Extreme spinning coaster, so it's going to go through a very fast stall after that launch, spinning. Right now I'm flipped upside down, and this is how it's going to look on ride. Missed opportunity not calling it Spindercar. Shifting over to Florida, talking about rides that are tall and fast. What a segue that is. Falcon's Fury at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay is still broken. First of many times I'm playing that little clip today. Their huge drop tower has apparently been closed since December, and it is an amazing looking ride. I have been to that park twice in the past, and both times it's been closed every single time, and I've always really wanted to ride it, and it seems like there won't be a chance anytime soon because it's still closed. Might as well just rename this series This Past Week in Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay Not Being Able to Run a Theme Park. Tell you who can run a theme park over in Florida though, because they literally do. Universal Studios, specifically over at Epic Universe, where it seemed like a brand new attraction permit was filed, but this time elsewhere in the park, and then the permit got removed off the site, and it's never been seen again. I don't know if they're just trying to hide that from us, or that was just some sort of test, or they didn't mean to do it. But what they did mean to do at Epic Universe was reopen Stardust Racers. They're Mack dueling roller coasters. These two rides have been shut for quite some time now, after they had maintenance planned for it, and then the deadline of that maintenance got later and later and later and later. But the final delay of that maintenance plan meant it would be opening in April, but it has actually reopened in March, I think around a week ago, this past week, and guests are enjoying it once again. So much for the people online that said, oh my god, I have inside sources, Stardust Racers and the whole park is closing forever, or maybe the tracks collapsed in the tunnel. We'll get onto that later. As we transition slowly over to Europe, because once again, I'm going to do this segment. Give me a moment. I went on the internet and I found this. Oh, look at this lovely little train ride that doesn't look terrifying. Oh, Oh dear. Yeah, I saw that on Instagram and thought it'd be funny to share. As we continue our flight over and land in Europe, specifically to Spain in Portaventura World, where Dragon Khan, the B&M sit-down roller coaster, has finally reopened after a long, lengthy track refurbishment, where they've retracked portions of the actual layout of the ride, and apparently, hang on, I'm going to quote this. Dragon Khan feels the same as before, but when you enter the Cobra Roll, it's a very weird vibration that reminds me of a PlayStation controller going crazy. Oh dear, B&M. It's almost like they buy their track from the actual B&M bargains. But yeah, very strange to see that. Another retrack that has recently opened is over in France on Tonnerre to Zeus over at Parc Asterix, which I'm hoping to return to later this year, where over the past few months, a large portion of the track on that coaster has been replaced in collaboration with RMC, making Tonnerre to Zeus now technically a hybrid coaster, not a wooden coaster. Now with the RMC retrack, does this make it Tonnerre 3 Zeus? I'm intrigued to see how that rides when I go on it later this year. And another ride you might want to get out to riding later this year if you can, is Euromir at Europa Park in Germany. An old Max spinning coaster that is very janky and very strange, but it is a beloved ride and very iconic within that park, especially the soundtrack. I think that's the main reason people want this kept around. Well, it won't be fully kept around because Europa Park have announced it will be closing at the end of this season. The park announcing that the story continues with a new family roller coaster replacing it in 2028, keeping the space theming and also the iconic towers. So in my opinion, we're just going to get a Mack family spinning coaster that's a lot less janky than this one, and I'll be following the construction of that as much as I can on this series. So subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And over the past year or so, I have been keeping you very up to date on the World of Frozen and Adventure World coming to Disneyland Paris. The brand new renovated Walt Disney Studios park with a brand new lake and like a themed area at the back, a spinning teacups ride, restaurants, and just a brand new look and feel for that park. And it is finally opened to the public for everyone to enjoy, and it had a very interesting opening day. Before the opening even took place, there were of course previews, and apparently the media were told by a panel at Disneyland Paris that the new Lion King area that's coming next to the Frozen world started last autumn and will have roughly the same type of timeline as the construction of World of Frozen. So Lion King might open as late as 2031. What will open first, Universal Studios UK or the Lion King ride? But with Adventure World and the World of Frozen now being open, how did the opening day go? Well, those who arrived early got in quite quickly. There was around a 240-minute wait for Frozen I saw at one point. Olaf, the little snowman that walks around that area for a meet and greet, came out at one point. Obviously he's a little robot animatronic, sorry to spoil the magic. And at one point everyone was videoing him and he just dies. And Disney only installing that one ride in that area definitely came back to bite them, where there was a lot of complaints online about there being over 6 hours of closure for that ride on opening day alone. Now I know it's a new ride, which makes complete and utter sense, but at the same time they've only got one ride in that entire area. So when that's closed, what on earth do you do? And I guess when it closed, you could have said it broke. But it's nice to see that the World of Frozen and Adventure World has opened. Everyone seems to be loving it so far, and I'm really excited to go and visit that park for myself and see the changes in person. So again, subscribe so you don't miss that vlog when it comes out, because I'll be going soon. I promise. Either way, we return back to the United Kingdom. Welcome back to the land of many more broke rides, because trust me, there's a lot here that's going wrong, especially with the return of an old attraction that I never saw coming to Drayton Manor, the Angry Birds 4D experience. It used to be at Thorpe Park, now it's at Drayton Manor. I did not see this coming. It makes me laugh so much. I love the fact that it's come back. Angry Birds 4D Reborn. How will Merlin cope now that they've lost Angry Birds to Drayton Manor? Well, Merlin will do a 2-for-1 offer, because they've just done a new offer for twice the fun tickets, where you get 2 theme park days for the price of 1. If you wanted to know that, there you go. And previously in a video, I spoke about a Merlin theme park, Thorpe Park, and the fact that Zodiac, one of their flat rides, has been shut for almost a year, because sadly, it broke as well. Well, weirdly now, that ride actually seems to be moving and testing in full cycle, and I actually can't tell if it has reopened because it's not on the app or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it has or will be soon, because yeah, it's testing full cycle now. Surely it's got to open at some point. Very surprising to see, because I thought that was a goner.
I am a goner.
And speaking of rides being closed and then suddenly reopening and then even others breaking, whatever, Alton Towers is our final destination on the TPWITP tour because we've got 3 very different things that have happened this past week. Oblivion has finally reopened after many days of downtime, where rumours circulated that the track had collapsed inside the tunnel. The tunnel itself was falling apart. I even said that there could be a structural issue that I really hoped wasn't the case. That would be resolved later down the line. But clearly, Towers, whatever the issue was, got on top of it very, very quickly because Oblivion is now back open. Heading into CBeebies Land now, you may think I'm going to go and talk about their new roller coaster. No, because just quickly, another ride broke in CBeebies Land, this time sinking under the water. A boat ride where you literally just go along this little river has somehow had its boat sink. But either way, when this came up on my feed, I was very confused because I guess you could say once again, it broke. I'm getting so bored of saying that now. But we gotta say it one final time because another news story has come out from Towers regarding the brand new Bluey roller coaster. The fact it opened, which is amazing to see. Cannot believe how busy it was. Well, I can kind of believe it because it's a kids coaster themed to Bluey. It had over a 2-hour wait at points, and I didn't actually see too many enthusiasts there, which is very surprising considering I thought everyone would try and get first ride on it. I didn't bother going on it. I'm probably going to wait till after it's quieter and it's just open on a day I'm there. But it did open with this huge opening ceremony, and there was a drone show the night before, and then the next day it came up saying Bluey the ride Here Come the Grannies is not planned to open. What's it with the UK and opening a new ride and then it just closing the day after? Yeah, it just didn't seem like it was going to open on that Sunday whatsoever. I guess you could say it... But yeah, I don't know what happened on that Sunday to make them close it for the entire morning and afternoon. I believe it did just open towards the end of the day when CBeebies Land was going to close, which obviously is a plus that they did manage to get it open at the end of the day. But yeah, it's back open now. I'm just curious why that happened at all. But yeah, a lot of rides seem to be broken around the world, but luckily those that are breaking are now starting to reopen slowly. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, and leave in the comments below what ride you think is going to break next. See you in the next one, and goodbye.